What's up, guys? Steven here with DownlineFactory.com, and it's a cold morning here where I'm at. We just got a couple inches of snow again, and I don't know how much longer this is going to go, but I want to talk to you guys today about disappointment in network marketing. And when you think something's going to go one way, but it ends up going another way, and kind of how to overcome that. For us, I know I wanted to. I'm kind of set out to automate my recruiting, automate building my downline. That's why I came up with Downline Factory, and I'm putting together a series of funnels and a series of trainings. And if you don't know what funnels are, it's basically just a series of web pages that can lead people on a very specific path. You can, if you do it right, you can take someone from being a total stranger or a really cold lead into somebody who knows you, likes you, trusts you, and feels almost like they have to do business with you. You're not forcing them, you're just making it irresistible, if that makes more sense. And I wanted to take everything I've been learning about digital marketing and funnels and translate that into the network marketing environment. And I found a good mentor to help me with the digital aspect of marrying those two, the digital marketing and network marketing. And I have a mentor for the network marketing side, a little bit more of the traditional way. He's a little bit more of the traditional meets modern branding-ish kind of way. And then my upline of the company that I joined recently is hardcore traditional way. And it's taken some time. So I just wanted to kind of set the stage anyway. And so I set out several months ago to kind of create a system that I'm naming Downline Factory. And it's taken a long time to plan out. And I've had some forward steps, I've had some backward steps, but it hasn't gone super smooth every single day. In fact, I thought that it was going to be up and running so much faster. And by now we're still kind of in a position where okay, where's the results from this, with this brand new team. And so I'm refining a lot of my gateway pieces, the kind of entryway funnels, things like if you're watching this video that you would go through and experience, if you chose to, if you wanted a free funnel or some free training, you can go through one of my funnels and kind of see how it works. I've made some changes recently already, and I actually got a huge milestone last night in spite of wishing I was several steps ahead of where I am right now as far as creating the system. So when it's ready, I can't wait to tell you guys more about it. Certain people will get it absolutely free, certain people have to pay in order to access to it. And all it really depends on is if you're on my team or not. But I do want to eventually make it available to anyone in one way or another. And then the other aspect that has been a lot harder is we did join this brand new team we're creating from scratch, and we have a little bit of traction. We've got some customers, we got a couple team members, but we've been trying. What we did is we tried to hit the first 30-day bonuses. A lot of companies in network marketing have big bonuses within your first month or your first several days or whatever it is, and ours had some substantial bonuses where we were up for a couple of $1,000s just in our first 30 days, and we didn't hit it. Everything was looking like we were gonna hit it. It looked like everything was literally set up. We just needed to plug in a couple of more people in a couple of different places, and it just didn't work. One person ended up quitting on our team because once they got inside, they just didn't. I guess they just didn't like our upline culture, which was kind of a bummer. And other people who thought they were going to have a certain amount of customer volume didn't reach it. There was one part that we just fell short just a little bit on, and we were super excited because we were going to be able to kind of pay down a little bit of debt again that we kind of slowly acquired over the last year. And we were getting our hopes really high in the midst of it. And instead of going out and finding new customers and new team prospects and everything, we really just rode on that high, the high hope, the hope of hitting those good bonuses right away, and just kind of being in la la land about it, and before we knew it, we were only like 2 or 3 days away from the deadline to qualify for the bonuses, and we just weren't there. Like I said, we were really close. Like, we were super, super, super close, and oh my gosh, the stress was on us, just because, like, it wasn't nobody was putting stress on us, but like we were feeling the pressure of what's possible versus what we're doing. We were so close to reaching something possible, and we knew that there was a deadline, and we knew that we weren't quite reaching it, and it was so frustrating, and it was so disappointing, and we were trying to get people to we're just, for the first little chunk of time, we were going through the whole traditional method, literally calling friends and family, getting people to home meetings. Our company, or at least our team, is super awesome, where our team leaders, our uplines, are highly available to help with team meetings, and we just weren't getting people to show up again, and it was just a major challenge. And when the deadline finally did hit, we qualified for some bonuses. We made several $100s profit with the bonuses and everything, and we picked up a couple of team members, and we picked up a bunch of customers along the way. So we didn't miss out. I mean, we didn't like miss out on, it wasn't like make or break things. It was just disappointing that we thought we were on track for a much higher position, essentially, as far as bonuses go, and we didn't hit the target. Now, we did hit some targets, because we aimed kind of high, which I recommend you do. Don't aim for just qualifying. Don't aim for just breaking even. Aim a little higher and see what you're capable of. You'll be amazed what you can do when you stretch yourself a little bit. Most people think that their best, how do I say this? Like, what most people think is their best is actually much lower than your actual best, what you're really capable of. So I had a conversation with my upline, and I got kind of stuck on something, and he set a goal for me. He didn't really set it for me. He challenged me to set this goal that was significantly higher than what I thought I was capable of in this scenario, in this business. And I was like, look, man, I'll try. And he says, no, you can't try. When you say try, when you use language like try, you are setting yourself up with a backdoor out. You have it in your mind that there's an exit if you don't want to do it anymore. You're giving yourself, it's almost like you're putting an excuse on, like a backpack. You're just carrying it with you in case you need it. So he's like, you don't try. You just have to get it done. You just have to do it. And he wasn't coming at it from like a boss perspective, like, this is your quota, this is what you have to do. No, it was more like he cares a lot about us and the position that we're at and what we want to accomplish with this team. And he could see something that I couldn't. And even though I was frustrated, and even though my sights were a lot lower in that particular scenario, especially from like the disappointment from earlier, and I just couldn't see things the same way that he could from a higher perspective, a more experienced perspective, from an outside perspective, from my circumstances, and he set the bar a lot higher. He said, you just gotta do it. I know you can do this. It's just a matter of deciding that try isn't an option, and the excuses aren't an option, and the fear is not an option. And it was a hard conversation, but it was one of those where, it's almost like, you ever watch the old like American Idol auditions, and somebody just gets on there and they're awful. They're so bad. You're wondering who had the nerve to encourage this person to be so bad for so long. Like somebody who they genuinely cannot sing. They have no showmanship whatsoever. And the only explanation as to why they're on national television putting their lack of skill on display, lack of talent on display, is because somebody told them that they were amazing when they weren't really amazing. And it took somebody like Simon Cowell. You remember, he would always sometimes he would say the rudest, meanest things. But the more I watched him, a lot of the time I realized like he was actually the kind one. Because sometimes kindness is not easy, and sometimes kindness can be a little bit painful. But the point about kindness is that it's the truth. Like, kindness carries the truth, even when it hurts a little bit. But it has to be delivered in grace. You can't just say, "Hey, you're ugly without makeup," and call that kindness. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to be kind and firm and truthful that is not intentionally degrading and intentionally hurtful, but in a way that it's the truth that you need to hear, and my upline was doing that for me. I mean, I realized watching American Idol years ago that like a lot of those times, the one person who said, "Look, you're awful, you're not cut out for this, you need to go do something else," it was Simon Cowell, and he was probably the first person to tell that person the truth that they needed to hear. Like, look, this is probably not going to end well for you. You need to find something else to spend your time and energy on, And it hurts when somebody tells you something like that. But my upline was like, "Look, you're not swinging enough. Like, you're not swinging enough. You're not taking enough chances. You're not getting yourself out of your comfort zone enough. And you just need to swing more. And when you can swing more, then I can help you. When you fail more, then I can correct you. If you find something that's broken, I can help you fix it. But if you aren't doing the right things, if you're not taking the right steps, then yeah, you're going to be really disappointed a lot of the time, and you're going to be really hurt a lot of the time." And he's kind of calling me out on some of the things that I knew were holding me back in the back of my mind, but I was, my ego is too big to admit it. And it hurt a little bit, But after the conversation, it was like I realized, oh my gosh, this is somebody who cares enough to tell me the truth, which is really rare today, especially in our culture with what's going on in America. If you're watching this in America, oh my gosh, people can't handle the truth anymore. It's really sad. But he was telling me the truth. He was talking in truth with love and firmness, and there was a lot of grace to it, even though it was really hard. It was hard to hear. Hey, you're not taking the right steps. Hey, you're going over here when you should be going over here. If you want to hit this, we've all hit this, and this is what it takes. This is what you got to do, and you're not doing it. Like I said, it was hard to hear. It's a tough pill to swallow when someone's being just honest with you, but because they care about you. And so all that to say, like, when you get disappointed and discouraged in your company, the first thing you really want to do is just make sure you're right on track. Make sure you're not accidentally off in the woods, like Little Red Riding Hood, getting off the path where there's wolves and things that are going to take you out, versus staying where you should be to get to grandma's. You know what I'm saying? You want to get to grandma's, stay on the path. And a lot of times you get off track, not even knowing that you're off track. So what I would encourage you is stay plugged into A, your mentor, and B, your upline, and C, take a look at your goals and what's worked in your company and in your company's culture and the methods that you're using, and make sure you're on that track and you're not just off in la la land doing something random that nobody's ever done before. If nobody's ever done it before, you really have to kind of take a litmus test, a litmus test. What's the right word? Litmus or litmus? Somebody tell me. You really got to kind of take stock and make sure, like, okay, is this something that is really genuine, that's really helping me, that it's not wasting my time, not wasting my money, so that you can get on track and start having those little victories again, because those little victories are going to help you handle your, what's going on with your hope levels and your passion and your discouragement and your encouragement. But really stay connected with the people who care. Your upline will tell you the truth if they're good people, and your mentor, your coach, will tell you the truth if they're a good person, or if they're good people too. So those are a couple of ways to help you overcome some of that disappointment and those back steps that sometimes you can take, and when you're off track and confused and frustrated in your company. But anyway, I'm really excited to show you guys what's going on with Downline Factory. I think in the next video that I do, I'm gonna actually show you a little bit of the plan. It's kind of like the skeletal plan of it, and then I'm gonna be putting together a lot of the recordings, a lot of the actual content that goes into the product of Downline Factory, whether you're on my team or you buy it is up to you, so you can kind of see how this is going to work and as I work out all the kinks and stuff. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll talk to you soon.